Hello and Namaste. I am Ketan Kank from 192 Consulting. After having seen the establishment of Investor Education and Protection Fund, in today's video, we are going to take a look at what amounts are credited to this fund. Subsection 2 of section 125 entails a list of amount that has to be credited or that gets credited to the Investor Education and Protection Fund by the operation of the provisions of this subsection. I have got a list in front of me. I'll read out that list on the camera so that our viewers can understand the list of amount that has to be that gets credited to the IPF, and on my part nothing is left out. So the list is in front of me. Subsection 2 says that there shall be credited to the fund which amount? The amount given by the central government by way of grants after due appropriation made by Parliament by law in this behalf for being utilized for the purpose of the fund. So that means if any grant comes from the central government. Donations given to the fund by the central government, state government, companies or any other institutions for the purpose of the fund. So this fund is eligible to accept donations also. The amount in unpaid dividend account of the companies transferred to the fund under subsection 5 of section 124. In the previous 3 to 4 videos, we have reflected in deep on this provision itself. I'll read this provision again to our viewers so that they'll understand actually what gets transferred and when it gets transferred to the Investor Education Fund. It states that the amount in the unpaid dividend account of companies transferred to the fund under subsection 5 of section 124. So the timelines, the amount when it gets credited to the dividend account, and from unpaid dividend account, the timeline when it gets credited or transferred to the Investor Education and Protection Fund. Next, the amount in the general revenue account of the central government which had been transferred to that account under subsection 5 of section 205A of Companies Act 1956 as it stood immediately after the commencement of the Companies Act 1999 and remained unpaid or unclaimed on commencement of this act. This provision is practically of no use for our investors or the audience of this video, so we will not reflect much into it. The amount lying in the Investor Education and Protection Fund under section 205C of the Companies Act 1956. So our investors or the viewers of this video should understand that initially it was Companies Act 1956 which got repealed. The Companies Act 2013 came into being. If the fund which was administered earlier under the reigns of earlier act, if there is certain amount left into that fund, then that amount will get credited to the fund which is established or administered under this act. The interest or other income received out of investments made from the fund. So obviously any amount coming into the fund's account, the fund will have the liberty to accept the benefits or the interest or any other amount which is being generated out of the amount which is lying in the fund currently. The amount received under subsection 4 of section 38. Again, this is not of much relevance to the investors and reclaiming procedure, so we will not dive deeper into this at this juncture. The application money received by companies for allotment of any securities and due for fund, matured deposits and companies other than banking companies, matured debentures with the companies, interest accrued on the amounts referred to in clause H and H to J, sale proceeds of fractional sales arising out of the issuance of bonus shares, mergers and amalgamations for 7 or more years, redemption amount of preference shares remaining unpaid or unclaimed for 7 years or more, and such other amounts as may be prescribed, provided that no such amount referred to in clauses H 2J shall form part of the fund unless such amount has remained unclaimed or unpaid for a period of 7 years from the date it becomes due for payment. Now, if we actually take this list, or if we actually consider this list, it includes everything: the deposits, debentures, preference shares, equity shares, the amounts of dividends pertaining to these shares, and any interest generated or accrued out of the amounts transferred to the IPF fund. Now, investors should understand that the law is very exhaustive on this. It has tried to actually include whatever amounts get generated into the scope of these provisions, and then as per these provisions all the amounts which get generated under the heads or the list that I have mentioned right now will get transferred to the Investor Education and Protection Fund under the provisions of subsection 2 of section 125 of the Companies Act 2013. In the next video, we will now take a look at the utilization of this amount. Law also tells to what extent and for what purposes the amount that has been lying with the Investor Education and Protection Fund is to be utilized. But that is for the next video. Should you have any query relating to the Investor Education and Protection Fund Authority, reclaiming of your shares, dematerialization of securities, or any other investment related query, you can feel free to reach out to us. We can be reached by writing an email on info@nineteenTwo.in, or you can simply mark your comment in the comment section of this video. Till the time, this is Ketan Kank signing off. Thank you so much.